Come on! Come on!
Alright, so even though it turned out to be a really easy PR, probably like an RPE 8.5, 9, I'm not exactly sure, but I could have definitely gone for another rep. I really didn't think that I was going to be able to do all 3 reps. Honestly, in the warm-ups, I was starting to think I wasn't even going to be able to get 475 for 1. A part of it was I wasn't really sure how doing cluster deadlifts was going to affect the lift, and I was a little bit worried that having to back up from the bar was going to make me kind of calm down a little bit. But it turned out to be fine, and honestly, I think it actually helped a little bit just because I was able to clear my head and I wasn't really thinking that much about what if I failed the lift and just, trying to complete it. And probably another thing was I was able to make sure that my form was maybe not perfect just because I'm not there yet, but just make sure that I wasn't really missing anything. But form is actually what I wanted to talk about today. Well, not necessarily form, but coaching and training people how to have better form. So I have been making, lifting routines for a while, and I've gotten pretty good at, having to adjust my diet and learning about what all the macros do. But for some reason, one thing that I haven't really thought about until recently is the teaching aspect of being a trainer or a coach. And depending on who your client is, the dependence of form can vary. Of course, it's always going to be there, like you're going to have to learn how to do a proper bicep curl or a dumbbell row, but I know how to do those things and they're pretty simple. But you also need to be able to teach people how to do the more complicated compound movements like the squat, bench, or deadlift. And my mom has actually been asking me to help her with her deadlift form. And, I've been trying and failing pretty much for a couple weeks now. I think maybe over a month. And I'm starting to think that the way I've been going about it is wrong, because I keep trying to tell her how to do things how I tell myself how to do them. And I realized this because she told me that something that was very bad for me and I learned absolutely nothing from it was actually very helpful for her, and she pretty much learned almost instantly. So something that I want to work on is kind of expand my ability to explain things and then also bring that into my training. I'm going to be able to figure out what's really important, because I realized that in my deadlift warm-ups, I wasn't thinking about slack pull. I was thinking about something that I had been trying to learn, which is, go and then make my arms feel like they're being pulled. And I don't think that works for me. So I think that I need to focus on the goal, which is get from, point A to point B. Get from, I don't really know, but point B is the slack pull. So instead of jumping from one specific thing to a different one, I want to kind of take all of the things that I have learned and solidified in my form and build on those to kind of achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And honestly, thinking about it right now, it might actually be a little bit more fun for me, because instead of having to try one thing and then failing, I get to experiment and pretty much just feel instead of think. And I hate thinking. But I think that's pretty much it. And Before I end the video, I do want to say I am in a lot of pain right now, and I'm very glad that I do not have to seriously deadlift for another 2 weeks. My shins are open right now. Honestly, I probably should have worn my socks, but for some reason I just decided not to. But I'll see you next time.